Latoya, otherwise known as Princess Aspian, and welcome to my channel.
Just be me.
First of all, before we get started, I cannot start this video without talking about how cute my outfit is. I literally put this on. I got given to this. Let me find the girl's details so I can, oh my god, cry about her. Hold up. I'm gonna find it, and she is so incredible. I am obsessed with her. The Instagram handle is Lemon Fairy Shop, and she makes the cutest corsets. I literally, oh my goodness, are we kidding? I put this on this morning. It came in the mail today, and I was like, I must try this on. And your girl started crying. Like I was like, oh my god, I have this is what I was born to look like. I was like, this is, are we kidding? Please, oh my god, I love it. And the sleeves, I put this on this morning. It came in the mail today, and I was like, I must try this on. And your girl started crying. Like I was like, oh my god, I have this is what I was born to look like. Like this is, are we kidding? Stop. Like, stop, honestly. Stop, I'm crying, I can't. Oh, it's so cute! Also, I got a new piercing yesterday. I now have my second piercings done in both my ears, so there's that done. I got them done in a very dodgy place that should not have been piercing ears. So my next video is, vlogging the hospital ward, getting my ears amputated. You know why. Anyway, let's get into the video. So for today's video, I got you guys involved. I wanted to go through some neurodivergent confessions with you guys. Things that you guys are going through, things that you guys are just dealing with, things that you guys do or feel or think that you're not sure if anyone else does or feels or thinks about. Because when I was growing up, and honestly still a lot of the time, there are a lot of instances and circumstances and things that just go through my mind or that I experience that make me think I must be the only person in all of existence that is feeling this way right now. I am a complete lunatic. And the best way that I've been able to unlearn that is by realizing, other people do very similar things to me. This is just a part of the neurodivergent experience. It's not just me. There's a whole lot of other people out there that do and think and feel the exact same way that I do. So I jumped onto Instagram and I asked you guys what your neurodivergent confessions are. And as usual, you guys came through with the goods. If you guys ever want to be involved in a video like this, make sure to go and follow me on Instagram, turn story notifications on so you guys can be the first to know whenever I'm doing videos like this. I love involving you guys in my videos, and Instagram is usually where all of these ideas start off. So with that shameless self-plug, let's get it going. Here are your neurodivergent confessions. Defining myself by being ADHD and feeling like a fraud if I don't fit a trait. And part of the reason why it's such an issue is because of all of these doctors and so-called professionals of this field who claim themselves to be, well, professionals, don't actually know a whole lot about this diagnosis that they claim to have a ton of knowledge on, and are remaining stagnant and stereotyping in their identities and their understandings of it. So many doctors that I've spoken to have assumed that if you do not have every single tick of the textbook stereotype criteria of one of these different neurodiversities, you simply can't have it. Like down to the point where I had a doctor tell me that I was misdiagnosed simply because I was able to force eye contact with him. What? Sir, You are not meant to fit every single criteria of a diagnosis. That would make you a literal robot, bro. You have your own personality, you have your own ideas, you have your own feelings, you have your own identity, and some of those identity things are not going to be part of a stereotyped criteria diagnosis. That's not how human bodies work. That's not how the human brain works. And thinking that it does is extremely outdated, extremely ableist, and extremely unknowledgeable. You are a real life living, breathing human being who has your own personality and sets of traits and skills and issues and things that define you, and not all of them are going to be textbook criteria. That's simply the way it is. You are who you are, and you don't have to owe anyone an explanation for that. I'm masking in front of my friends, and I often wonder if they would still be my friends if I wasn't masking. This is something I struggled with for the longest time, particularly when I just got my diagnosis and at the beginning of friendships. Would this person still love me if they knew what I was really like? Would this person still love me if they knew that I was autistic? How would this person react if I dropped my mask? Are they aware that I'm currently masking and this is not what I'm like in my own personal environment where I feel safe enough to be me? And the thing that took me the longest time to learn, and was one of the hardest lessons that I had to learn over a very, very long period of time, is that if that person doesn't love you for who you are, if that person has a weird identity and a weird idea of who you are that isn't actually you, girl, get rid of them. You don't need that in your life. You do not need someone in your life who does not love you wholeheartedly because of who you are, instead of their perception of you, instead of their idea of you. You don't need that in your life, girl. Get rid of them. We're not talking about that. We don't want that sort of friendship here. If they're not gonna love you for who you are, you don't want to be with them anyway. Alternatively, you could have really cool friends who do love you unconditionally because of who you are, and if that's the case, perfect, awesome, great. Love that for you. That's exactly what we're looking for. Either way, whatever the outcome is, understand that it's exactly the way that it's supposed to be. You should not have to pretend to be someone else or keep a mask on at all times just because you are scared of your friends not wanting to be your friends anymore. Whether the outcome is positive or negative, either way, it does end up becoming a positive outcome because you've either got the people that you know that you want to be with and that you know are going to love you unconditionally, or you've gotten rid of the toxic people in your life before they can become more toxic. I got an infection from procrastinating going to the bathroom. Just ADHD things. This is the thing that annoys the heck out of me when people like use ADHD and OCD and BPD as like a cute little quirky personality trait. Like, oh my god, I'm so hyperactive, I'm so ADHD. Like, oh my god, I love organizing things, I'm so OCD. Like, it's shut up. Stop. What? Shut up. Stop. Ew. Gross. Your romanticized versions of mental health and disabilities are so ableist and so toxic. It's disgusting. Anyway, girl, I feel you. I'm 26 and I'm realizing that I most likely have ADHD, but I feel like an imposter for being an adult undiagnosed. Imposter syndrome again. It strikes at us so many times without us even being aware of it. Imposter syndrome is the pits and happens to so many of us when we get diagnosed very late in life. These sort of answers are coming frequently. Just about every second question here or second answer here is some form of imposter syndrome, and it showcases just how much of an issue it is that we face. Because we've grown up with so many stereotypes being shoved into our brain, it is so easy for us to feel like we don't meet the criteria of our own diagnosis. Maybe I'm faking it. Oh, but I don't meet any of the stereotypes. Maybe the diagnosis was wrong, etc, etc, etc. You are not an imposter for not being settled in or for not understanding an identity that you have not been given the time to understand yet because the professionals did not do their jobs correctly. I have been diagnosed with neurodivergent for over 10 years now, and I am still learning more about myself on the internet, from TikTok, for an app made for 12-year-olds to do little dance routines on. I've been learning more from that app about myself and my identity after 10 years than I have ever learned from a single doctor, from a single psychiatrist, from a single psychologist, from a single person who has learned about my brain from a fancy textbook. You are not an imposter for other people not understanding your diagnosis and for you not understanding your own diagnosis yet. You have got so much time to understand yourself. Give yourself a break. You are valid and your identity is valid. Period. Spending most days in a blanket bubble. Period! Me! And you know what? Good for you. Good for you, girl. Live in that blanket bubble. Period. Self-care, baby. If you need that blanket bubble to make sense of the world when we are in a literal pandemic, in a pepperoni, in a pizzeria, I'm sorry, that joke's still really funny. I don't care how outdated it is. I'm still gonna use it. And go for it, baby. Absolutely. I'm convinced that if men got into blanket bubbles more often, they would start a whole lot less wars. No one is asking you to be Superwoman every day. No one is asking you to be up to save the world every single day. Take that blanket bubble, take what you need, girl. Me saying that literally so I can validate myself because I know I'm gonna do that exact same thing as soon as this camera is turned off. Period. I didn't realize people purposely made eye contact until I was 17. Do you know the amount of things that I'm still learning about neurotypicals that are apparently normal? That they as a society have deemed as normal, and I'm like, why? That's it. Why? I am convinced that neurotypicals are the weird ones in society. I am convinced that they are the strange ones. And that the only reason that we're deemed strange is because there's like less of us, so because there's more of them, there's, you know, majority rules, they're like the normal ones. But I'm convinced that they're not. I'm convinced that we are the evolution of humans and that neurotypicals are just not all there because some of the things that they do just doesn't make sense. I try to remember every single classmate's postal code, birthday, and phone number to get friends. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, honey. Oh, babe. If it makes you feel better, I tried to be the popular girls. Like, not like act like them. Not like take their interests and stuff. Like, not like try to mimic them so that they would be like, oh, she's kind of cool. She's like me. Like, no, I became them. Like, I would have won a Best Actor at a Grammys performance. The Grammys act, I don't know. I would have won a Best Actor at some sort of acting film awards for Best Performance, or potentially a restraining order. Like, it was borderline identity theft. I once ate a whole bottle of gummy vitamins in 3 days because I adore the texture of them. Can you overdose on vitamins? Like, old mate's about to be like, become the new sun. Like, the sun's about to, I'm gonna Google if you can overdose on vitamins. Okay, I Googled it. You cannot overdose on vitamin gummies. Your body's gonna like pee that stuff out. But maybe just like eat lollies in the future. You're gonna turn into that chick from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory who just becomes a blue because she had the blueberry thing, but that's gonna be you but with vitamin D. She's gonna become that giant baby son from the Teletubbies. Flip-flopping between being wildly confident and then secure. Me! I will literally go from I am so ugly, I hate my entire existence, why has God abandoned me, to I'm really out here being the hottest woman on the planet in like 0.3 seconds. ADHD imposter syndrome? Girl, no. I just have hot girl imposter syndrome. I'm too afraid to ask for accommodations, especially because I've spent my whole life telling people I don't need it. I get this is such an intense thing for us, especially those with us with invisible disabilities and those of us who were diagnosed late. We had to survive without accommodations. We had to go our entire lives without accommodations because we didn't realize that there was anything about us that deserved extra accommodations, and that in itself is such a disgusting mindset. The fact that we think that just because there isn't a label, just because there isn't a diagnosis, we should have to suffer. That's not the way that the world should be whatsoever. But reaching out can be the hardest thing ever. It can be so anxiety inducing. It can make you feel like a burden. I get that. I understand that. I still struggle with asking for help and asking for accommodations all the time. But something that I've learned is that I have to validate myself enough to understand that this earth is for all of us, and there are accommodations put in place for a reason. I don't deserve to be living on an earth where I have the ability to have accommodations made for me and not take up that offer. That doesn't line up with a single one of my values, so why am I accepting less for myself? Give yourself the validation, give yourself the self-love, give yourself the care to understand that you are allowed to have accommodations made for you. You deserve to be here, and you deserve to be respected and valued just as much as anyone else on this earth does, and if that means having extra accommodations, absolutely brilliant. I have a horrible fake laugh that I use at parties because I don't know what's supposed to be funny. Alright, story time. There used to be this book series in Australia called Go Girl. I don't know if any of you guys who are like late 90s, early 2000s kids remember that series, but there used to be this series called Go Girl, and I used to love this series. I would read it religiously. Like I said, I used to copy my personality traits based on other people, but I would also copy my personality traits based on movie characters and book characters. Oh my god, ew, that's such a main character energy. It's whatever, it's fine. Anyway, there was this character in this book series who was supposed to be like really quirky and really smart and really funny and really cool and popular, and everyone loved her, and I was like, great, I'm gonna act like this character so I can get the same benefits that this character has. I'm gonna be popular, I'm gonna be funny, I'm gonna be loved, everyone's gonna love me. Plot twist, spoiler alert, didn't happen. There was this line in the book that spoke about this character and how she would always laugh at jokes that other people didn't find funny because she was so smart that she would get jokes first and that she would understand humor that was like above their maturity level. So she was just like really switched on and would like just laugh at things that other people, oh my god, I'm giving myself the biggest ick. It's fine. It's for educational purposes. Anyway, I thought this was a thing that smart neurotypicals did, so I was like, I'm going to do the same thing. And I would laugh at everything. Like literally everything. It was a whole phase when I was like in grade 1. So like 6, 7 years old, I would laugh at everything. Someone would say a really poor joke, just like a really bad joke, and no one would laugh because neurotypicals don't have that thing in their brain that tells them that they have to laugh at things or that they have to try and fit in. They simply do what they think is normal because it is. And I didn't have that sitting in my brain, so I would laugh ridiculously at it. I would laugh at everything in case there was a moment where something was genuinely funny that no one else understood. Oh my goodness. That's embarrassing, love in it. Oh yuck. Oh, that's embarrassing. That is, oh my god. I would fake smile, I would fake laugh, I would fake an accent, like literally an accent. I faked an accent. I had a fake accent that I would put on when I was speaking to people, and I still do it sometimes without even realizing. I'll be going out and like ordering something with my friends, or like speaking to a stranger, or speaking to someone that I don't know. I'll do meet and greets. And my fans are like, you don't sound like this in your videos. Why are you speaking like this now? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm masking without even realizing it. I'm sorry. I can't. These things that I do to pretend to be neurotypical, and it just makes me look more autistic than ever. Oh, Lord Jesus. Anyway, oh my god. I'm giving myself the biggest ick. I hope you guys don't entirely hate me forever. I would. I have ADHD. I think that time isn't real and that it's a big inside joke. I'm with you. Time doesn't exist. Time does not exist, money doesn't exist, time doesn't exist, gender doesn't exist, none of it exists. We made it up. Like, it's a hoax, bro. It's a hoax. We made it up. I'm expecting a new Netflix conspiracy theory documentary in this because it's fake. And I don't want to hear any of your science people up in my comments saying like, here's why it's real, and like the sun and like the earth and like rotations and like gravitational pulls or something. I don't know. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Like, it's cap. Have you guys heard of the last Thursday theory? There's this if this isn't the most like ADHD thing ever, I don't know what it is. Anyway, there's this theory called the last Thursday theory, and it's basically this theory that everything in the whole world was created last Thursday, and we can't disprove that. And like, yes, you can be like, oh, but we have thoughts and we have memories that dated past last Thursday, or like there's rocks that dated a lot further away than last Thursday. But it's like, okay, but what if they were created to seem as if they were taken a lifetime ago, or placed there a lifetime ago, but really they were actually just placed there last Thursday? We can't disprove that. There is nothing that can disprove that. Memories, history, dated rocks, false. It was all created last Thursday. It was all created last Thursday, and our psychology has told us that it was a lifetime ago because that's what our brains do. And we can't disprove that. Oh my god, I can't think anymore about this. I will have an existential crisis. Anyway, we're gonna move on before I literally have an existential crisis. Quarantine has increased my stimming by like 1000%, and I realize how often I mask. This is normal. If you are in quarantine at the moment and you've been stimming or acting more autistic than normal, you are completely normal. This is completely fine. This is not only completely normal and fine, but this is completely expected. First of all, you're away from a neurotypical society a lot more, so your body is like, I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm allowed to do what I need to do to be comfortable. You feel like you have that leeway to be that legitimate, unfiltered, authentic self. The other side of it is that we are literally in a global pandemic right now. We are literally in a global panini. I'm sorry, I'll stop. We're going through something that is really, really scary, and it's only normal for you and for your mind to act on your neurodivergent tendencies to make yourself feel more comfortable and to make this situation feel less scary. We stim because we need to steady our brain when we're in stressful situations. The whole earth is in a stressful situation at the moment, girls. Stim away. If that's what you need to make sense of what's going on, stim away. Stim away, my good humans. Hyperfixate, my darlings. Be autistic because you need it. It's what your good, beautiful, amazing, wonderful brain has taught you to do to cope. So do it. It's fine. You're allowed to be autistic. Validate yourself and respect yourself enough to understand that. I feel sorry for objects. Fun fact, this is a legitimate autism trait. It's a trait that is very rarely spoken about, but it is a very, very common trait nonetheless. Object personification is an extremely common trait in autistic adults. And there hasn't been a whole lot of research done as to why this is, but a lot of people believe that because autistic people can really struggle with identifying emotions, they automatically put emotions onto things that aren't real people or animals. If other humans have emotion that I might not be picking up on, perhaps this object has an emotion that I'm also not picking up on. Or if I'm picking up so much emotion from this, then I'm also picking up emotion based on everything else that's going around this object too. That sort of thing. I have a video and a couple of blog posts about object personification, but there has been so many times in my life where this has like taken over my entire existence. There has been times in my life where I've become so emotionally attached to inanimate objects that I literally cannot function without said objects, where I literally cannot continue about my day without consistently thinking about this object. Usually this object is a stuffed animal, usually a discarded stuffed animal. So if I see a stuffed animal in an op shop that I just become really drawn to, or a discarded stuffed animal, I am like, I have to find your home. I have to be your mother now. I get so upset about these things, and if I try and go, oh, don't be silly, you're a grown adult, you don't have to think about this stuff, and leave, I've had meltdowns because I have left op shops without buying a discarded teddy bear that is like has a limb missing and an eyeball hanging out, and I've had to go back and be like, that teddy, I need it, please. I will not stop thinking about it. This is super common. It can be towards teddy bears, it can be towards blankets, it can be towards furniture, it can be towards plants, it can be towards anything that is inanimate and doesn't have legitimate feelings. I'm sorry, everyone in my room. And the thing is, it's fine. Who cares? It doesn't hurt anyone, it doesn't hurt yourself, it doesn't hurt other people, so who cares? Personify away. I look at people's eyebrows so they think that I'm looking at their eyes. I've had so many people tell me to do this. I have so many autistic friends who have given me like tips on how to pretend to be neurotypical that this works for, where they'll look between their eyes, or they'll choose an eye to focus on, or they'll look between their eyebrows, or look somewhere else that makes it look like that they're looking into the person's eyes. This doesn't work for me because I start to overthink about it. As soon as I get the idea in my head of, oh, this person knows that I'm looking at them in the eye, then I start stressing like, how long is the right amount of time to look? Does it look like I'm staring at them? Am I looking at them creepily? How long is too long? Are they aware that I'm looking at their eyebrow? Are they going to think that I think that they have something like in their hair or in their eyebrow or something? Like, I start overstressing it. So the easiest thing for me is to look down and then look back up for like glance, and then look back down again, or simply just not look at them at all, because eye contact doesn't make sense. It's not, again, we made it up. There's no reason why it's polite. We've been told that it is, but it doesn't actually make any sense. So I just simply won't look at you in the eyeballs because I don't have to. And I shouldn't have to give in to neurotypical ideas of how society's supposed to be just to make myself more uncomfortable. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? Once again, neurotypicals are weird. Eye contact is dumb. It's like it's made up. Just like time. I say off topic and then bring up my special interest. Me! I do this to the point where it becomes a game. Like, it's a gift. It's a talent. The way that I can bring up my special interest or my current hyperfixation into any conversation and like very normally, I think. But then again, I'm really bad at social cues, so maybe everyone's like, girl, here she goes again. Like, I can slot my current hyperfixation into any conversation. You watch, have a conversation with me, and if we're talking for more than 5 minutes, I will slot our current hyperfixation into that conversation, and it will be so smooth. I can't fall asleep without a bunch of noise, or my brain will keep me up. If I have not got a room where there is several things happening at once, like if I have not got a podcast, music, a full musical theatre performance happening in front of me, like 3 fish tanks going, a dog, I'm not gonna sleep. I do not want to hear the inkling of a thought enter my mind. If even the suggestion of a consideration of a thought enters my head, I'm like, get out. No. And you know what? Once again, that's fine. If that's what you need to be able to sleep, absolutely do you, girl. Totally cool. That's all part of being neurodivergent. That's all part of that whole too much or too little sensory input, sensory output thing. If you need other things going on to be able to calm your brain down enough so it is not so incredibly loud, that is totally fine. Do you? I thought having to do everything on your body symmetrical was normal. Girl, the amount of things that I do that I think are normal, or that I thought was normal, and then I would like bring it up in conversation with someone, or like see a TikTok about it, and I'd be like, that's not normal? That's not how I was supposed to act? Oh. Before I got my ADHD diagnosis, which I got last year, which if you guys haven't seen the video, go and check that out. I'll link it somewhere around here. I would see so many TikToks of like ADHD things, like just ADHD relatable things, and I'd like watch these videos and be like, oh my god, so relatable! But I don't have ADHD, so like, oh my god, maybe it's just a thing that everyone does. And I'd like show someone the TikTok and be like, hee how relatable, and they'd be like, girl, that's not relatable. What are you okay? And I'd be like, oh. And then I got my diagnosis and I was like, yeah, no, that actually makes a lot of sense now, doesn't it? I spend 23 hours straight listening to one song. I do this all the time. I get the most intense hyperfixations on songs to the point where it will be the only thing I listen to for weeks at a time. Like every moment of every day, I'm listening to this one song and I will not get sick of it. My current song hyperfixation is Say My Name from Beetlejuice. I have been so obsessed with the song for about like 2 weeks now. It is currently at 2:40 in the afternoon and I have listened to this song 14 times today, and I will be listening to it 20 more. I play it on repeat because it scratches a part of my brain. I'm like, this is good. I enjoy this. This is very tolerable. Hyperfixations ground us, they make us feel comfortable, they make us feel happy. Hyperfixate away, and if that means listening to the same song for 23 hours on repeat, do you, man? There are worse things that you could be hyperfixating on. Okay, there is literally hundreds more confessions here from you guys that I so desperately want to go through and rant about and talk to you about and feel like I'm a part of something with, but otherwise this video will be going for 35 years. So I think that's where we're going to leave this video. If you guys do want to see a part 2 of this video, do let me know because there are so many more and I would love to be able to do more neurodivergent confessions with you guys. Thank you guys so much for sending in your confessions. Thank you guys so much for being involved in this video. I love involving you guys in these sorts of videos, so I'm so excited to do more with you. Please make sure to stay hydrated. Please make sure to look after yourself. Please make sure to stay kind to yourself and stay kind to other people. If you guys did like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I don't mind. Do whatever makes you feel good. Do whatever makes you feel happy. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Just being